Okay, so I know you guys see the title, you might think that I'm being dramatic or whatever, and let me just put it out there real quick. Let me just get it out there. In terms of the content, nothing's really going to change. I took a little bit of a break, as you guys could obviously see. I was really grinding and I kind of got burnt out, and events kind of led me to get to this point, which I'll elaborate further on in the video. But for those of you that just kind of want to answer real quick and click off the video, yeah, I'm basically just going to be playing this game at my locals. I'm not going to be like being super sweaty and trying to like be the best and go to all these events and all that stuff. Like, no, realize that's not for me. Just gonna continue to enjoy the game for what it is and have fun with it and go from there. Play it at a casual level. Yeah, that's basically it. If you guys were just here and you just wanted to hear me say that, I'm pretty sure you guys could have got that from the title. But for those of you that want to have more in depth and find out a little bit more about what exactly has been going on, well, then I appreciate all of you guys. And, you can listen to me in the background while you guys are taking care of some other stuff, because I'm going to be talking for a little bit. So, first and foremost, why, right? Like, why am I making this change? Why do I want to focus more on being like a casual? And there's a couple things. There's two really big things though. The first one is the fact that it's so annoying to try to get into these events. So as you guys may or may not know, the online regionals for the English release were having signups last week for various different vendors or different organizers or whatever, right? For me, Carta Magica is probably my like quote unquote local one because I'm here in Canada. So they are typically going to be running the events that are Canada based. Obviously, they have the one that's in Niagara. They're having this one here that's also going to be in Montreal. So not too far away from me, being in Toronto, different province, but still not too bad. They're having that in terms of like the in-person one, but they're also hosting the online regionals that they've already done before in the past as well. And now the good thing about these online regionals, doesn't matter if you're in Canada or the US or anything like that. If you want to go ahead and enter and compete, of course you can. Now in terms of pricing, I'm not too sure how the distribution works on that sense. Haven't dug that deep into it, but I'm just letting you guys know. I'm sure you guys all know about this already, but I'm just laying the groundwork of the story. Now if you guys have been trying to get into these online regionals, you know that it has been quite annoying or quite a little bit of a hassle to try to actually get it. Now, for me, I'm actually extremely happy that the game is so popular. Like, if you guys know, I actually didn't get the chance to go to Treasure Cup. That happened earlier this year, and that sucked because like there was a bunch of other content creators that were there at Niagara, and I would have loved to meet them and meet you guys as well. It would have been a blast. But you know what? I'm an adult. I wasn't able to go. It is what it is. And a ton of people had fun, and I'm super glad about that. And when I see these events sell out so fast, for me, as somebody that's a fan of card games, that's a fan of One Piece, this is something that can only be good, right? If you really think about it, that means that the demand is so hectic because these are events that are selling out, right? Like people are going to the events and like they are at max capacity, like everybody's showing up. If not, people are slotting in, right? And like the event is running with all the people there. So that means the demand is there for the players, and that means everybody wins at all levels. If you're super competitive, if you just play on a local level, if you just are a collector, right? Maybe you're one of those people that just want to buy product and resell. It doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, the people that are running these events, the people that are attending these events are what keep the game alive, because they're the ones that are going to be opening all this product set after set after set after set, right? It's the competitive players that really drive the market in that sense, right? Card prices go up because either it's a collector's item or it's a card that's going to be used in a deck for a competitive sense, and people want to build that deck because they want to win, right? Those are the price levers. That's what dictates the price. If something's not going to be played or it's not good, the price is going to be low, especially if it's not a collectible item. If it's a collectible item, price is going to be high. If it's a card that's going to be used in really good decks or it's a popular deck, it's going to be high, right? Like that's just straightforward standard in all card games. So in that sense, in terms of health of the game, I'm extremely happy because that means that this game, I truly believe this game will be around for a long time because it's fun and there's just so many mechanics that can be introduced. We still haven't even really got into like the attribute system yet in this, like, you know, like with strike and slash and all this stuff. So I'm sure there's going to be some super nutty stuff coming in the future. It's going to be awesome color combinations. So I'm prefacing this. I'm saying all the good things because I don't want you guys to think that I'm just being like a complete like Debbie Downer, like salt lord, right? Like, no, I'm actually extremely happy. Now, where my frustration comes in is with how things were taken, what's the word? How things were handled for the Carta Magical registrations. It took the wind out of my sails, and it wasn't solely that situation that completely made me say, okay, well, I'm not gonna be competitive anymore. There's other reasons which I'm going to get to, but that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, for those of you that don't know what happened, registrations were going live on a Friday. So Friday is a work day for most people. I know it is for me, Monday to Friday. And it was in the morning. I believe it was 9 a.m. I could be wrong now because quite honestly, I don't really care anymore, but it was around that time. I think it was 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's my time zone. Of course, it being on a Friday, work day, in the morning, I was like, okay, let's see if I'll be able to get some time to set aside so I'll be able to actually attend and try to apply for this because I know that it's going to sell out very quickly. So of course, luckily for me, I'm working from home, so I was able to set up my day to be like, okay, I'm going to be able to have this time slot available. I can go in. Hopefully I'll be one of the first couple hundred people to get in, get out, boom, continue with the rest of my day. Unfortunately, their portal that they use, Best Coast Pairings or whatever it's called, was having some technical difficulties. And then they came out and specifically said, oh, we're having issues. Please do not message us about holding spots and this and that. Like, what we are going to do is we will keep you guys updated through our social medias. And if all is good, we will open it back up at 9 p.m. Eastern time or something like that. It was like something in the evening. I don't remember if it was 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. All I know, it was something in the evening. So when I seen that, you know, like any sane person would, I said, oh, okay, cool. And I went about the rest of like my day that I had planned, because again, it's a work day. I have to work. I went about my day because I was like, okay, well, I finished my day at 4 p.m., at 5 p.m., even if it's at 6 p.m., if it's at 9 p.m., whatever. It's cool. It's a Friday. I'll be available. I'll be able to sign on. No problem. Well, turns out that was a lie, and it turns out that the system ended up going live at like 9:15 or like 9:20 something or whatever. And yeah, all the spots were sold out. So as you could imagine, I was very frustrated because I specifically carved out that time to do that. So of course there are other registrations for the other events going on. But I was not able to do those because I had to work, right? I specifically made that time available for that one because that's the time I would be able to have available. And I was only going to be able to go to one. And unfortunately, I chose the one and not go to. When I say go to, obviously it's remote. But I mean, like, just based on my time and my schedule, that was going to be the one that would have permitted me to be able to do that. And it just sucks that that's the one that had all these technical difficulties. And when that happened, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So why was it the straw that broke the camel's back? Well, it's essentially because even prior to this, there were a couple things leading up to it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. For me, I was kind of having this like artificial pressure that I guess I was putting onto myself in the sense of like, I felt like I had to be a quote unquote expert of absolutely everything going on in order for you guys to keep coming back to my videos. And so again, nobody put that pressure on me but myself. And so I was like, okay, if I have to, or if I go to locals, I have to win. If I go to any tournaments, I have to top in order to kind of say like, oh yeah, see, like I'm doing it type of thing, right? And so that in itself comes with its own stress because then at that point, it's like I'm not really playing to have fun. So there was that. And I really wanted to get away from that and just be able to play to have fun because I think the epiphany for me was, I'm not going to lie, I was actually having a ton of fun piloting blue and green Sanji. And as we all know, it's probably not the best deck, but it is a really fun deck to pilot. And unfortunately, I never got to play it as much in OPO2 during my testings because I was just so focused on playing Whitebeard, playing Kinemon, right? Playing Zoro, like all of those decks, I was so focused on playing that because all I could think about was meta, meta, meta. Like, I want to make sure I know the ins and outs of the meta so that way I can perform, so that way I can make the content. It was like this toxic cycle for me. And it's like I was no longer playing what I just wanted to have fun with, right? And so then when OPO3 came out, you'll notice that once OPO3 came out, that's when the videos started to really slow down. And that was because the meta was just warped, right? The meta was just Whitebeard only, like for a majority of it. As we've seen towards the wrapping up, it became more basically just Zoro. And don't worry, I have a video actually in the works where I'm going to be talking about red and why I think red will forever be like just a broken color. Like red decks will always be strong. Luffy, Red Green Law, and I mean Red Green Law has green, which is also going to be notoriously broken. Whitebeard, Ace is really strong. Zoro, like all of these decks are just really strong because red is just probably the best color in all of One Piece. But yeah, the meta was just very Whitebeard, and then as we've seen towards the end of it, right before the ban list, we've seen more Zoro coming out, which is again still red, and we've seen Zoro all through OPO2, and I was like, the meta is just very, very stale. And so for me, I was like, do I want to just grind Whitebeard? Like, oh, hold on, pause. Let me word this phrasing. Do I really want to just play with the Whitebeard deck and play that matchup over and over and over again and know the ins and outs and all that type of stuff? And I was like, no, I don't. And then the ban list came out. And so that's why I was so happy when it came out, because I was like, yes, let's go. But then, yeah, the meta just then warps to whatever's the next best thing, right? Which Zoro was always strong. And then now Yellow is basically going to be running rampant as well, because Whitebeard was really the main thing keeping Yellow in check because it had such a bad matchup. So now it's interesting, right? Because some of you guys are thinking, well, Ryan, have you ever played a card game before? That's just how card games work. And I'm no stranger to card games. I've been playing them my entire life. But please understand it from my perspective, right? I'm not just playing this game, but I'm also making content on this game as well. And for whatever reason in my own head, I put this own artificial pressure on me to say that I need to perform at a competitive level to validate my content creation. And that's where that stress came in, because then now it's like, now I feel like I'm forced to play that meta, right? Like, if not, then it's like I could just play whatever I want, right? Like, who cares, right? But now it feels like I kind of have to, quote unquote, live up to something that I've created. Hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying. Hopefully I'm articulating it correctly. If you still don't understand what I'm saying, I apologize. Maybe I'm struggling trying to explain it. I hope some of you guys can understand where I'm coming from. And I say all that to say this, like with OPO3, like Iceberg doesn't look that good, but it's actually super fun to play. Like, sure, is he going to be a world beater? Is he going to be a tier 0 deck? Is he going to be what Whitebeard was? Is he going to be what Zoro is? No, he's not. What Iceberg is not that. The Iceberg deck is definitely not that. But is it fun to play? Yes. And I'm not going to lie, like, I would feel like I would have to play some of these other decks. I would have to play Zoro. I would have to play Yellow, which for me, if anything, if I wanted to play Yellow, I'd play Yellow Black Big Mom, as you guys already know. I wouldn't play the leader's slipping my mind. I don't even care about it right now, to be honest. Katakuri, there we go. I don't know why it was slipping my mind. But like, yeah, like for me, I was like, I wouldn't even really be able to play that, because I'm like, like the content, like, will that even like get clicks, right? Will people even want to see that type of stuff? Like, those are all the things that are like running through my head. And it's like, well, if I play Iceberg, I'm probably not going to win. So like, if I make videos about Iceberg and it's not winning, will people even watch? So like, I'm making the content creation dictate how I practice this game, and then ultimately what I play in this game that is supposed to be fun, right? So Arlong looks super interesting. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I probably wouldn't take a look at Arlong at all because it wouldn't be meta, right? Until something happens with Arlong in the meta, then I would play it, right? And then at that point, am I just a meta slave, right? So like, those were the things that were going through my head, and I was like, at this point, am I playing the One Piece card game, or am I utilizing it as a tool to make content, right? And so that was something that I was battling with internally. So there's that aspect of it. And a lot of you guys know that I really took it really hard when I made my smoker video. A lot of you guys loved it. It got so many views, so much support. But if you guys have been around then when it first happened, I took it really hard when I was having audio issues. I took it really hard. And the reason for that was because, again, it's like I was just so focused on the content, even though people were telling me that, like, hey, like, I'm gonna build smoker, like, this got me excited to build smoker. Oh, I can't wait to like play this and do this matchup. And like that was the main point of it, right? But like to get people excited about the game. But like for me, I wasn't actually thinking about that. I was more so thinking like, oh, the video wasn't good enough, right? I'm not even thinking about the actual card game that we're all playing, that we all love. So that's where like I kind of like started noticing it too. And so for me now, when this happened, when I wasn't able to get into the event, and keep in mind, it's Friday, weekend's right around the corner. It's Friday morning. I still have to work the whole day. I was pissed. I'm like, is this gonna ruin my Friday? I sat back, I was like, okay, I'm a grown man, I'm an adult. I'm not going to let a card game ruin my day. I was just like, you know what? Why am I putting all this stress on myself? This is a card game that I love, that I'm having a ton of fun, that I'm happy a ton of people love, because that means it's going to be around for a long time. So what if I can't get into these events? It doesn't matter. If I compete in the event, if I perform in the event, if I do bad, if I do poorly, none of that matters. If you guys are going to watch my videos and enjoy the content, you guys are going to do it regardless. Or the real ones, right? Which is what I ultimately want anyway. So if you guys are the real ones and you guys are going to watch regardless, then that'll be great, because I can make more fun content, right? I can make more videos playing these lower tier decks and talking about cool deck ideas and different deck profiles and not really caring too much of the metagame. Will I still talk about the meta? Of course, I'll still talk about things here or there, but now I don't have to grind games of like meta decks all the time. I can just play fun decks and just play the cards that I want, buy the cards that I want, and not necessarily have to worry about, oh man, like this card is gonna be like played in this deck coming next set, it's gonna be super expensive. Like no, like I could just be chill and just, I don't have to buy boxes for these absurd prices, and I can get the cheap singles, right? Like everything, it's like the whole world just becomes so much freer and so much easier if I'm not trying to focus so hard on the competitive aspect. So I say all that to say this: if you made it to this part of the video, for me, honestly and truly, if there is a treasure cup or like any major tournament that happens in Toronto, I will definitely try to go to that 100% for sure, because it's local. I won't have to pay for accommodations in terms of like a place to stay and travel, all that stuff. I won't have to worry about that, so I save a lot of money, which is good. In terms of online regionals, if the sign up is at a reasonable time, if it is not during work hours or like a work day or whatever, and it's reasonable and I can make it, sure, I'll try. Am I gonna camp out and like be on my like computer and be like, oh my god, the clock's ticking down, I gotta click really fast? Like, no, I'm not doing that. I've been there, I've done that, I did that on that Friday, it didn't work out, I'm done, it pissed me off. I'm not gonna add that stress into my life, right? If it works out, great, cool, I'll compete. If not, so be it, life goes on, right? Outside of that, any outside in-person events I will not be going to. I won't even be trying to go to. There's one in Montreal. I'm going to be getting my refund. I'm not going to it. Again, I'm not going to be playing that super competitively anyway. So I just don't care. I'd rather save the money. I don't have to, I get the money back from the ticket. I don't have to worry about travel costs. I don't have to worry about hotel stay or any of that. All that money now gets saved into my pocket. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Hopefully you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Some of you guys are upset that like I'm not going to be like playing super competitively anymore, and like trying to like get these winter cards and dissect the meta and give you guys all like the tips and all that type of stuff. I do apologize, but if you guys want to stick around for like more of the fun content, talking about like budget decks and like off meta stuff and just having fun and fun types of content and things like that, then this is the place. There's a ton of other YouTube channels. There's a ton of other resources for you guys to check out for the super meta stuff. I will always say, if you guys want to know the latest and greatest for meta stuff, check out my homies, my friends, Team Seafood Kings. Great group of guys. Check them out. Collabed with Brandon. We did a podcast about a month and a half ago or so. So definitely check out Team Seafood King. Those guys are amazing. They will dissect the meta for you. They're all about the metagame. So if that's what you guys want, subscribe to their Patreon, show them some love. Let them know that Ryan sent you. And yeah, they got you covered on the meta side of things. If you guys just want to play casual and have fun, you got your boy Blackbeard right here. So with that being said, love all you guys. Hope you guys understand why I've been kind of MIA as of late, why the love of the game was kind of waning and I kind of felt burnt out. But hey, I'm back. It feels good to get this off my chest. It feels good to not have like this pressure, like this stress that I've added for myself. Like I can kind of be free. I know that sounds kind of cringe. I don't know. If you guys are YouTube creators, I think maybe you'll understand what I'm saying. Maybe I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. And I think that's part of something, for me at least, that I could say about my growth as a person is like, at least I'm able to identify that and act upon that now before it got worse. And I'm going to have fun. Like, videos aren't going to change. I'm still going to be making content, but I'm going to be having fun. Because at the end of the day, it's a card game and we're here to have fun. If any of you guys made it this long, oh my god, you guys are awesome. I was rambling for super long. It's a 20-minute video. But hey, man, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know down below. Are you guys hardcore, competitive players? You guys want to win everything? You guys got into any events? Let me know what events you guys got into. Are you guys just playing casually, just playing at the local level? Let me know. At the end of the day, we're all needed, right? The casual players, the collectors, the competitive players. Again, the more people that play this game, the more people that collect or buy, or whatever they're doing with these cards, as long as these cards are being purchased, taken off the shelf, there's an economy for it, there's tournaments going for it, that's all that matters, because we all win. Because that means we are getting set after set after set after set. And with that being said, I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.